This is Mogobe Nuggets of Wisdom podcast. We enthuse, we energize, we inspire, and we empower entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs of all stripes in BW and beyond. Hello and welcome to Mogobe Nuggets of Wisdom podcast. I'm excited, I'm rejuvenated. We're going to talk innovation and manufacturing, what this country is all about, what the new mindset agenda is all about in terms of the reset agenda. So really, this is going to be an exciting topic. It's talking about something that the country is really, really excited about, and I think you're going to love it. But before we introduce the guest, please strike the subscribe button as well as the notification bell so that we can continue bringing this exciting content. I'm so excited that we're celebrating our 4 years of Nuggets. And as part of this celebration, you'll see a slightly more energetic me than normal. But do hit that bell, please. Welcome to the studio, sir. The name is Mr. I've got your name, Dikaelo Ngwako.
Yeah, that's me.
Yes,
and I'm very, very honored to be here, invited to the Mogobe Nuggets of Wisdom.
Yes,
it's
a pleasure. Tell the people about your background. If you can summarize your resume, so to speak.
I'm like they say, Dikaelo Ngwako. That's my name. Yeah, born and bred in Mahalape. Born and raised actually in Mahalape. Yes, that's where I come from. So yes, I spent most of my schooling years from primary school to finishing my Form 5 in Mahalape. Well, I did go to Mahalape for a year. Then I came back to Mahalape again to complete my BG. Is it BGCSE? Form 5?
Yes, that's it.
Yeah. Then I'm going to tertiary. I schooled at NEET, right now it's called Both University.
Yes.
So that's where I did NIIT. Yes, that's where I did computing and its practices, measuring under programming. Yes. So basically that's with my educational background.
Are you a software engineer?
Well, I wouldn't call. I got exposed to it, but when you don't practice something for a long time, then you become you totally the skills actually you lose the skills.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't really call myself that, but it's something that I work with very closely.
Okay.
Yes.
So what do you call yourself now?
What I call myself is I'm a okay, just to maybe say something. When I did my first year, I got fortunate to get a job at Incredible Connection as a sales and marketing person.
At Riverwalk?
At Riverwalk, yes. So when I started when I was actually mid first year, so I got myself a job there. So it actually enhanced more of my marketing skills. Then also because I was selling IT and doing IT at school, I kind of got to see the difference between the school environment and the real world environment, and I could actually also see the gap between curriculum and the real world. So normally I would find myself in a better position to actually tell those who I'm schooling with more information than what we had at school.
Okay.
So I think that basically shaped me now to not only be stuck into my profession, but to look at the world in a different way, and also interacting with general managers there as my customers and now becoming my friends. So I kind of got to see that I have to be a collective of all these. Yes.
And your company is called Dik.
Yes.
How did you get that name?
Dik, because of from Dikaelo, Ngwako. Dikaelo. So I took Ali and Dikaelo and I meshed them. Yes. Then we have New Start Technologies, which handles the innovation and manufacturing, which is a subsidiary of Dik Holdings.
Okay.
Yes.
How did you gravitate towards manufacturing? Or what sparked your interest in manufacturing? How did it all start?
I think from a very, very young age, I always thought of something that I didn't know of. I just felt like the world was not enough, but I couldn't really have ways to explain with whatever was there, I just felt like, no, there's something. It has always been in me. Then, as I went to junior secondary school, I did design and technology. So I'd participate a lot into these D&T fairs and all that. But still thinking and believing that there's something that's lacking. Yes, I knew all about the screws and all that, but then I just thought, okay, fine. How is a remote control made? Because at school there we are told, okay, this is a saw there, that's a file. But a saw and a file will never get you a remote control. So, but those were just questions I couldn't answer then. So as I got exposed now to tertiary education and, like I said, the industry, at work there, having to meet like the CEOs of Bitdefender Antivirus, and I'll just ask them a few things. How do you do these things? And I could tell that they told me, no, don't only focus on your school. There's more behind the curriculum that you need to learn, but the school actually gives you the basics. Yes, but then there's the untold or unwritten stuff that you have to find on your own.
Did you start reading a lot, or were you just dismantling toys and gadgets?
Well, what I can say is I got hit by a car when I was doing my Form 2, so I lost my memory.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So I had amnesia. So actually, from being one of the most performing students, I actually now regressed because I would understand something, but then when I go home to do the homework, it's totally new information. Up until I finished my Form 5, from Form 2, from my Form 3, Form 4, now I just became an average student because now I was using my brain, not my memory. Yes, but I think that's also what developed me now, because I had to use my memory, my brain, and not my memory, because now my memory had gone.
What's the big difference there? Sorry, I'm not a technical person.
Yes, I think the thing is, when I remember when I used to have to answer like stuff like velocity at school and like physics. Yes, some people will just memorize the formula. So I would have to understand what's velocity and kind of derive the formula. So you understand, because now I couldn't remember most of the things. So chemistry, totally I couldn't remember anything, because you had to know H2O, you have to know all those things. So
it must have been a bad accident. Did you hit your head on the ground?
Yes, I hit my head on the ground. I was riding a bicycle. Yes, so it was very...
a truck or something?
No, it was a van. I was yes, but I don't remember anything because I just only saw myself waking up in the hospital. So I didn't really know what happened. I got told you were hit by a car. Yes.
Now, is the memory back now?
The memory came back 2012. From Incredible Connection, I worked. Then I went to from Incredible Connection. Then I worked as a full-time employee for 1 year, up until Sony identified me. So I got a job at Sony Center here in CBD. Yes. So, because now I was doing a lot of brain trains and training to a lot of customers, having to memorize. It just came at a time I didn't even know how I'm now memorizing all the numbers. I knew all my bank account numbers. I could tell. But without focusing, I can't put my thoughts together. But it just happens. So,
could it be divine intervention?
Yeah, I think so.
You think so?
Yeah.
Oh, you're not a believer?
I'm a believer. I'm a believer. So I think it's
probably what it is.
Yes.
Okay. And there's also a subsidiary of Alidig known as New Start Technologies.
Yes.
Tell us about the two entities, how they relate to one another.
Alidig, is the mother company. Then it actually gave birth to New Start Technologies. Yes.
When was this?
New Start Technologies, that was 2019. That's when we had New Start Technologies. Then Alidig was 2015.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So you've been running on your own since 2015?
I've been running on my own since 2013.
Oh, I see.
Yes, since 2013 when I left Sony. Yes.
Why did you decide to quit Sony?
I decided to quit Sony because I felt like there's more that I needed to do, and also create an opportunity for other people now to get into the space that I was, because I thought I was now overperforming and over experienced also within the whole retail industry. And also getting to see the number of people that I'm interacting now with, even high-profile people. But when I was still there by Incredible Connection, I would get general managers for I became friends with general managers and all that. So I just felt like now I need to move into another different space, because I thought like I've exhausted all that I need to learn within the retail and IT industry.
So from 2013 to 2015, what happened?
From 2013 to 2015, because I had the IT skills, I was now helping people like sort of an IT consultant. Yes, so I'd get people coming to me to ask for advice.
Up there in Mahalap?
No, here in Gaborone.
Oh, I see.
Yes, here in Gaborone.
You had your own business?
Yes, I had my own business. Yes. So
what did you call it?
It didn't have a name. It was just me.
Yeah. Okay.
It was just me now helping people with IT and which stores to go and buy, which trusted brands are there, and yes. So up until, and the other thing is I bought a truck, a 1.5 ton truck when I was still working in December 2012. So I was also using that truck to actually do deliveries. So you'll find me parked in front of Cash Build. Yes, also to deliver, building materials for people.
So it was a side hustle just to get the money coming.
It was the side hustle to get the money coming.
Like Matsilonyana.
It was like Matsilonyana, yes.
Hey.
But then during then month end, you'd make good money, Matsilonyana, and that's what actually put everything together.
Wow.
I managed to fund Ali Duke Holdings, get it started, and buy all the things that you needed to start from.
Maybe I should find myself a truck. Just kidding.
Yes.
And then 2015, I really want to know what happened to get you to say I'm going to start my own manufacturing business.
Well, firstly, it wasn't even about manufacturing. As between 2013 and 2015, I started doing research on farming. Yes, but not for selling. It was just growing tomatoes, not on the soil, but using chicken manure as the So we got the results. We had lots of. It was
When were you experimenting on this, researching? You have your own farm?
I wanted to do farming, but I was not a farmer, so I just.
But you had a home. You had a space. I mean,
I had
land.
Yeah, no, we used someone's farm. It was just a 5 meter by 20 meters. So we just put in the tomatoes there and just put them on just chicken manure. Yes. And we didn't even buy any special type of seeds. I don't even remember which seeds. I just think we just got them from the shelf and just did our experiment. Then it came out right. We had so many tomatoes, we didn't know what to do. We just started giving people the tomatoes. That now gave me the confidence to say, now, okay, I understand not so much, but a little about farming. That's when now, 2015, I started now going to the Youth Development Fund, to the youth office, now to apply for funding to do horticulture.
At MySec?
At MySec. Yes. Now, then MySec in Mahalape. So I got the guidelines. So after getting the guidelines, then I went to RTC to do a short course, a week course for horticulture. Yes. So then I applied for the loan. 2016, the loan was approved. Yes. But after getting the loan, though,
is that the 100,000?
The 100,000. Yes, I got the ceiling, 100,000.
Yeah.
Yes. So I got successful, but then I still, when I looked at my environment, and I just noticed that we have a lot of new farmers, but you don't have farmers that you can trace back to say, okay, he's been 30 years into farming. So, okay, I felt like I'm not a farmer. I just look like a farmer because I have the 100,000. Now I've got the money to look like a farmer. But no, I've never farmed anything. So I felt like it was a bit of a risk to go into farming, looking at the methods that we are using already. I've seen people fail because of climate change, heat, insufficient irrigation systems. So then I held back the money. I didn't start farming. I just kept the money there, and I had to find a good reason why I'm not using the money. So I had to move now my project from Mahalape to Rasesa. to say, my father has a small land there. Let me go and develop the land, because there I was going to be renting. So in the meantime, I kept rushing to South Africa, anyway, calling everyone. What can I use? Because I need a controlled environment where I'm not going to have hailstorm damage my products. I'm not going to have where too much rain damages my products, or any other thing that damages my products. So I went all over, and I still couldn't find something that convinces me to say, Ali, now you can go into farming. So now, having that, I had to find ways now to develop something for myself that I can trust, to say, now I can go and pick back the 50% grant. Yes. So in South Africa, I met this gentleman. He was the manager of Stewards and Lloyds. Stewards and Lloyds sells a lot of agri equipment. Yes. So I used to go to my Fikeng a lot, and every time I'll task him, what can I use? So he'll give me all sorts of drip irrigations, sprinklers, to a point where he said, you know what, Ali, you're a difficult person. But there's some guy...
difficult in that you ask tough questions.
No, the thing is, I don't see solutions that he's giving me as solutions. Because I'll tell him, okay, fine, but this needs a lot of water. Okay, fine, this...
you'll point out the shortcomings.
The shortcomings. So then he was like, one day he called me, Ali, there's this other place in between Mafike and Zerast. He gave me directions. There's something like growing huts. I don't know what it is. Like they grow vegetables in there. I passed them in times. I don't know the owner. So then I took a drive, followed the directions. I was with my father. So when we got there was nobody. There was only dogs barking. But then we took a photo of they had a like a board,
number,
a phone number, and the name was New Start Eco Gardens.
Yeah.
So we came.
That's interesting.
So then we drove back here. Then we gave them a call. They were surprised that there's someone who can actually call from Botswana. But they were saying they're still working on it. It's still an idea. But as he explained the idea to me, I told him, no, I believe in your idea.
What was the idea?
It's like growing. It's like in small tunnels, but in a form of a dome. So yes, so with something called a water spider to irrigate. So it irrigates at low pressure, so it doesn't compact the soil. So if it doesn't compact the soil, it means now the soil is loose, so the roots can grow easily. Then you can get microorganisms also in the soil, which will help break down the humus for the easy absorption of the nutrients to the plants. Then you can also do earthworm farming inside. So that you have earthworm farming, and they produce humus and correct the pH for the plant, and the plant takes... it does like a whole...
a complete ecosystem.
A complete ecosystem. So you don't need to go and buy fertilizer because the earthworms are there. Then after that, if you got a lot of earthworms, you take the earthworms, you feed them to the chicken. Then you take the chicken droppings, put them back into the into the dome. Yeah. Then the earthworms feed on the chicken droppings again. So it was a whole ecosystem. But then the earthworms will now correct the pH also.
How do they do that?
In the natural environment, they need to live within a pH of between 6.5 and 7, and that's where normal all the plants, most of the plants need that pH. So they'll just naturally correct the pH of the soil.
So, since he says you are still experimenting, why did you like it so much?
I just believed in it because I could, as much as I didn't have the whole evidence of how it is. I was like, but I think we can do this. He was like, are you going to deposit the money? And I said, yes, I'm going to deposit the money.
To buy what?
To buy the technology. Buying something that's not complete. So we did that. Then he sent his team to come and set up here. And I was the laborer. So he had to pay me back the labor. So I was part of it.
You took back with the right hand what you gave with the left hand.
Yes. And yes, we did it. Then I put different plants in there. I started with growing herbs in there. I different type of herbs: dill, basil, coriander. Then I put in...
you replicated exactly what you did in South Africa. You reproduced more or less the same thing.
Not really. I produced something you never produced. I did cauliflower in there.
Yeah. No, but in terms of the mechanism for growing these plants, it's exactly
it's exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, it's exactly that. But now, I now started making recommendations to say
him.
to him to say no, this cannot work. We need to make it this way. Yes, but then also when I started having my yields were really good. So when I started actually with after the setup, then I put in some chicken. I started with chicken, then I put in some goats, then I put in some ducks and and the rabbits. So I produced a lot of herbs, but I didn't want to take the herbs to the shops because I haven't invested in a packaging that will be like Fresh Land for Spa and the Woolworths packaging. So I was like, okay, in the meantime, as I'm going to compete with a packaging that will compete, bring up a package that will compete, let me try and feed my animals the herbs and the spinach and all that. So I started feeding the chickens, the rabbits, the goats with my produce. And those capsules produce more, but they use very, very little water. Because after we drilled the borehole there, our yield was only 2 cubic.
It wasn't satisfactory.
It wasn't satisfactory. So rather than we put in the capsules there, the water was more than enough. More than enough. And sometimes I would water once every 1.5 weeks. It was because it conserved, it trapped water.
The way it was designed.
The way it was designed. Yes, but then I kept telling him, no, but I think here, let's change this bracket here. Now I'm starting also now to put my funds with him. Yes, to develop now
You became partners of sorts.
Yes, we became partners. We became partners. Then I started traveling a lot that side. So now we are starting also now to write the evidence that I was getting from the side to say, oh, okay, this is how it is. So the chickens multiplied so much. They multiplied. I started with 6 chickens. That was April 2013. 6 chickens. By November, I had 186 chickens, 200 chickens. Because now, what I told him is like, okay, fine. This capsule, I started using it as a chicken brooder again. So it's like, no, this thing can be interchangeable. If because it's a circular thing like a small dome.
And what was the technology there? When I say the technology, the differentiator, what was it that you introduced that make it so successful?
Well, what we did mostly there was the design of the water spider. Yes, then we started seeing how the water spider can be.
So water spider being the thing that feeds the.
Yes, we just made a ball with like fingers around. Yes, so then I built the reservoir myself. I casted it with concrete. So now I use the weight of the water because the outlet is very low there. So the weight of the water would push the water into that different capsules using very, very low pressure. Yes. Then I used a lot of chicken manure, which he didn't really use much that side. So I got a lot of findings that even the natural earthworms and these big white fatty worms would migrate to come and feed there. So now you've got a whole ecosystem living inside the ground because now it's a natural habitat. You get these things, what you call minyopi. Minyopi, they were there.
It's supposed to make someone sick or something.
Yeah, those ones. So they'll because they're already there in the ground, but where there is moisture, they'll actually migrate there. Yes. So I didn't ever need to cultivate the ground because as they were moving.
So how was your produce? How did it grow year on year?
We had so much produce, but like I was saying, now I was using it as animal feed. So I now started selling the rabbits, the chickens, and the ducks because I had zero cost of feed.
Yeah, they really eliminated a major problem for most farmers.
I eliminated a lot of problems for most farmers. Then one thing that I also noticed is now my livestock was not getting sick because they were having fresh dill, they were having fresh coriander, they were having fresh spinach. And the goats and the chickens, they knew the chopping board. Whenever I had to cut these things, they'll come all running. Yes. So then I started doing an experiment. I was not vaccinating my goats because if one of my findings was like, okay, fine, we've got this pasturella. Pasturella, what does it mean? Oh, I think it means pastures changing. But now, if your goats eat constant diet, green diet all the whole year, then it means you've eliminated the use of using.
the vaccination.
The vaccinations. So now you see, I was starting now to even experiment more further and further and further and further and further. So then we started now saying, no, let's try now having an overhead sprinkler, so that you can grow the seedlings also inside, because we don't wanted to make this a multi-dome, to say, this now is not only for, it can be a seedling thing, it can be a vegetable.
How big was it in terms of square meters?
Diameter was 1.7 meters. Then circumference is 5.5 meters.
And how do you quantify the produce from that?
We'll put about 80 spinach plants in there. Because on a drip line, you are putting them on a straight line, so it means more land coverage, more fertilizers you are going to, or manure that you're going to need, and a lot of water to cover the whole ground. Now 5.5 meters, that's on the outer circle. Then you go in 15 centimeters inwards. Then you make another circle around. That's 3.5 meters. Then you take another 15 centimeters inwards. Then as you space around the 5.5, how many 15 centimeters are there? On the outer circle. Then so you are having your plants the same spacing, but on a circular.
It's very different. It's very, very different.
So you don't need a lot of space. So then you don't also need a high yielding borehole to actually farm.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is fantastic information.
We went all
so, but you still don't call yourself a farmer. Or you're a part-time farmer.
Yeah. Yes.
You're more of a scientist.
Yeah, I'd say more of a scientist. So, but then, yes, as it continued, then we also did mushrooms. Well, the gentleman, he was working with Northwest University. So there was some gentleman who actually came on board to do he was doing masters on mushroom production. So we are giving him these things to do mushroom production. Yes, so now the university got to fund the project. Fund him to do the project. So we gave him this. So now we are exchanging information. He was getting his masters and we are getting the know-how. Up until late last year, when this now was me alone, I managed to
You mean you've been running this since 2012 to late last year? That's the farm.
No, since 2018.
Oh.
Because I got the funding and I kept it because I needed better solutions, so I had to find better solutions. So from 2018 till now, yes, I've been running it. So yeah.
As Alidic Holdings.
As Alidic Holdings. Yes.
So, but then you switched to New Start Technologies for manufacturing.
Yes.
Tell us about that transition or that arrangement.
Yes. Okay, fine. What happened is, as we continued working together, innovation takes time to
bear fruit.
To bear fruit. It's not. You don't wake up today. It's not a purchase order thing.
No.
Yes, and my partner had to now go and find a job in South Africa. So, and we had a sort of a fallout because of interests now. Because I was willing to take it further. He was willing to make quick money. So he was willing now to engage other people now. So we ended up going separate ways. So then that's now when it came the birth of New Start Technologies. But through interacting with people, other people, also through him and through me in South Africa, meeting other engineers and all that, I had to now find my own team. So having found my own team, then we now expanded now to say these things are endless. So now let's go into flat traps, automated irrigation systems, and
you were inspired. Who in particular inspired you so much in South Africa?
Well, the people who we were paying to actually help us to develop the product further, because I'll give recommendations, and I'll pay. I was now the funder. Not the South African guy was just the concept guy, but I was now the funder, because I also now expanded. Alidic also expanded now into also doing supplies from the. And by the way, we took 10 months to pay back the loan at the youth office.
Paid them in full.
So we are in the top 100 youth businesses, and also the youth people there were very, very helpful, and they were very encouraging when they saw this whole new technology. I wouldn't have done so much without the support of Muchudi Youth Office. They did a
Wow.
good job. So, yes.
Wow. Kudos to our government there. I mean,
Yeah.
really, sometimes we don't thank them, but look what they've done.
Definitely.
Mm.
So they kept on saying, Ali even moved further. So then came New Start Technologies. I told them, now we are coming now with this automated irrigations and all that. Then they said, okay, fine. Go to the National Youth Expo. They gave me a slot at a space there, so we did some
This was
exhibitions.
2018?
2019.
2019 now.
Yes. So then shortly came COVID.
Yes.
And when COVID came, now we had at the farm there we had now 2 Zimbabwean guys with work permits, only coming to do the research. And the product, this small youth project also got Alidik Holdings, a river sand mining site in Mahalape. We all started from the Youth Development Fund.
Wow.
But now we are into spaces now where there is mining and I still do keep in.
You're mining sand.
Yes, we are about to start mining sand.
Okay, no, and then selling to the public.
Selling it to the public and probably see, because it's a primary thing also, to manufacture bricks, pavers, so we can. We've bought concrete mixers, small other things. You know, as an innovator, whenever you have a little bit of money, you look around. What can I buy? Oh, okay. Let me go and buy this laser cutting machine. Okay, let's go buy this. We keep on. Our money is actually, I think, our money is it's committed before time. So constantly we are growing by commitment of
resources.
Of resources. So, but when COVID came, everything collapsed, because now we're stuck in Mahalape. The Zimbabwean guys couldn't be subsidized because they were not Botswana.
But they had work permits.
I had given them work permits
and residence permits.
And residence permits, but I had to let them go
because the salaries were difficult.
And I was also paying a license for, an office space in a very prime area in Mahalape, because now we had printing and branding equipment. So we wanted to do now the herbs. Once we get because we had the packaging, we are going to brand the herbs in house. We are going to from like a small mini industry where we can now create many jobs and
within the same area. And exactly how did COVID affect you? You said you let you let them go. What else? What happened to the big project now?
Yes. Well, then what happened is then we left the farm. I left the farm there. I just left the goose to be wild because the farm is not debushed. So I just left the goose to be wild in there. Just give them water.
What happened to the rabbits and the other animals?
We had to sell. We had to sell them. Just to keep up with the rentals. But then, because COVID took longer than it did, we thought, okay, now there's COVID, let's put everything aside. Then now we quickly manufactured an ultraviolet disinfecting unit for COVID.
Wow.
So we are racing against Europe. Yes. So we managed to put it up, but then it failed to reach the market because, innovation is timely.
Yeah.
And we had to go to the COVID task force. We couldn't get hold of them. We ran around. We've been to every office there, but then.
What is the invention exactly, and how does it work?
It's a UV disinfecting unit. You put it in the center of the room, then it emits UV. As it emits UV, it's disinfecting the air and the surfaces. Then it doesn't leave any residue in the environment, so you don't have any downtime waiting. Like after fumigating, you have to go for 3 days without entering the room.
How did you come up with something like that? That sounds so brilliant.
I think it's now like you asked me, do I read a lot? I read a lot and I think a lot, so it's now in me that I'm just solution driven. It's sometimes I even ask myself, am I getting all these things from God? I don't understand myself. So Yeah, but then what we had to do is we had to put this thing together. I had to sell some of the stuff. We had to sell. I had to sell grass cutters also, because we had grass cutters at the farm there. To seeing how, because when you pile grass, we've noticed that you get spiders and everything that get in there. So
very bad.
and that's chicken feed.
Yeah.
So then came that, but yes, we did it. Then we actually even got recognition from Sweden.
Wow!
But
you registered a patent at SIPA?
No, we didn't register a patent because there was no time.
Yeah.
We had to do it. But one thing that I've noticed is where you have continuous improvement, you can patent, but then if you patent it, if you make it into a square, if you take our concept, we'll turn it into a half moon, but do something similar.
Yeah.
And but because yes, that's how what happened. But
so the piece of equipment, what happened to it eventually? You just had to shelve it?
It's there, yes, but we had to shelve it. But what we found is it's hard. The environment is not too conducive yet here when it comes to innovation. You know, you knock on doors, they'll be excited. You present to them, then the next thing you don't get any feedback, or maybe there is one department sending you to the other, then the other to the other, but ultimately
nothing happens.
Now the frustration.
Nobody wants to take responsibility.
Nobody. Yes, but then you go into this one department, but you attend them. No, but the product is there. You've seen the product. Then you come in next week, you find the lift has something similar coming from outside the country, and you know how frustrating that is. Then you wonder, how did this thing from outside eventually find its way in here? Then the elevators had these air purification stuff, but the product was here, which
makes you wonder what's going on.
But then if you go onto the internet, Fly Emirates was priding themselves as the first airliner which is using UV light disinfection. And
where did they get them from?
I don't know if they got them from Europe,
or
China.
It's not your invention. It's somebody else.
It's somebody.
In other words, somebody else beat you to it. Or you just don't know.
Well, the thing is, UV light has been used before to disinfect, maybe purification of water, but it has never been used in spaces, open spaces. So what we had to do is we had to design a control box to deliver the UV so that it doesn't harm the people. So the control box had a timer to say when someone leaves the room, just like an alarm. When you leave the room, it goes on. So then when the intended time lapses, if you disinfect it for 10 minutes, after 10 minutes it's off. But in a case of having unintended interruption, someone walks in by mistake, it has a motion sensor. So the product is there. Then we also had problems with the standards, because now, at Bob's would send us to Bomra, then Bomra will send us back to Bob's will send us to Radiation Inspectorate will send you to, so it was like a whole triangle. Then
without any firm decisions.
Then we'll write also letters to certain relevant officers. Even to this day, they never even responded. So that's why now. That's why I came to. I'm very much happy to be and to have people watch this, because this is now the hidden things when it comes to innovation.
These are the hidden roadblocks.
These are the hidden roadblocks, and from my experience, I don't see innovation going any further because practically the systems are not in place.
But isn't government making a lot of noise about the reset agenda? Does it not supposed to address this kind of thing?
I think it's making a lot of noise, and I think people want to go that direction. But people, the thing is the how. How do you do that? So I'm also finding that I also learn a lot of things as I'm going into the whole manufacturing industry. I'll give you an example. After doing the flight traps, we started manufacturing doing the flat traps back in 2018. Yes, then you've got something that works. Then we want to take it to the shops. So when you take it to the shops, now they will tell you, no, we need this type of packaging. You've got something that works, but that cannot actually go into the
shops because of packaging.
Because of the packaging. So we didn't know that also. And you find that now the packaging even costs more than the whole product, because now you have to involve now industrial psychologists in there. Then they have to now make you have to have packaging that doesn't even exist. So you have to now.
Let's talk specifically about the Load Master.
Yes.
That is your invention, correct?
Yes.
What is a Load Master? XP.
Yes. Well, Load Master XP is a geyser controller, photovoltaic water heater controller.
You used a very big word. What does photovoltaic mean?
Photovoltaic means turning light into electricity. Yes. Then using that to heat the geyser. Yes.
How does it work?
Well, what normally happens is we've been having solar energy and solar panels before, but you can only use those for lighting, charging your phones, radios, but you cannot use it for heating. Yes, that's why you find that we have these solar geysers that we're using sort of like tubes. We had tubes to heat the water. So you're heating the water by absorbing the heat from the sun, by not using the electricity that you generate from the light to power. So that's when we came. That's how we now. The innovative part of it was now getting solar panels to be able now to heat the element inside the geyser, because solar geysers were expensive, and not only to buy but also to maintain. Yes. So now here we are having something.
How did the idea come about in your mind?
The idea came about when we are looking at the. Oh, by the way, I'm now into the UN Supply Development Program. I was actually recommended by Youth Again, by YDF, by the Youth Office.
That's part of government which is very good.
It's very, very, very
good. The other parts which are terrible.
So with my experience with YDF has been very, 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 very good. So now, getting exposed to the Sustainable Development Goals and looking where the world now is trying to go to, we looked at our Sustainable Development Goal number 7, clean and affordable energy, and looking at now the current problem that's here in Morupule, to say every time now there's what you call peak times, where and peak times come in the evening, or let me say afternoon, when all the people are watching TV, all the stoves are cooking, and all the geysers are on. So now we found that for 60% of the heating goes to 60% of the power usage in every household bill goes to heating. So if you can reduce the heating, then it will actually help the grid also. Yeah. So that's why we developed the Load Master XP. Yeah. Okay.
And XP means what?
It's a name that was suggested by one of we are actually a small group of people with diverse skills, because there's no innovation funding, so we had to come together and see how we can fund.
Does Botswana Digital and Innovation Hub, or Innovation and Digital Hub, or whatever it is, help with any of this BDIH?
It does help, but then sometimes you'd find that you need to be at a certain level. There's what they call TRL. I'm a member of the Innovation Hub again.
Yes.
So TRL is what? Technology Readiness Level. So sometimes they want something that's at Technology Readiness Level. There are 8 levels. Maybe Technology Readiness Level 6. So you have to have...
What level are you?
Most of
must be 8.
Most of my products now are like 8. Yeah. But sometimes... when they were still at infancy, I could not qualify. And also sometimes you'd find that they open for calls for certain areas which are not a part of.
So, in layman terms, what is the simple problem that this thing is solving? the Loadmaster is solving?
It's solving the amount of the electricity bill at household.
Saving money.
It's saving money.
And if you install this thing, what percentage of your bill will you save?
You'll be saving 60%. Yes, because
you're saying that with confidence.
I'm saying that with confidence.
And how do you then make it part of the grid? How do you make it widely available?
Well, to make it part of the grid, that now has to be with Morupule now, because to put back to the grid is now Morupule who owns the grid. But that's actually something that's very, very possible, because after your geyser is hot, then you've just have solar energy that goes to waste. Actually, this product could have been out late last year, but we delayed to take it out because what we found, the sunlight here is very, very good in the southern hemisphere. So your 200-liter geyser by 10:30, 11 o'clock is already boiling. So now we said, okay, fine. What about the rest of the day? So now we went back to put in a second outlet where you can put in another geyser, or then you can put in a battery. Or
so you can have multiple items being charged.
You can have multiple items charged. So first it was about the geyser, but now the geyser will boil. Then you have the whole day. Which now
you've registered a patent. I'm asking as a lawyer to see whether your IP has been protected on this one.
We haven't registered the IP.
That's a mistake. You must move fast.
Yes, we'll definitely move fast. Yes.
You don't want to be caught with your pants down.
Yes, definitely.
Do you?
No. Yes, we have to
legally speaking.
Yes, we'll have to do a patent here in Botswana.
Yeah.
Yes,
because I don't think there's anything comparable out there.
Here there's nothing.
I mean, even internationally.
Internationally, you get them. But then without these other outlets again, it's only for
these other adaptations
and yes. But now we are looking at that if this thing the uptake, if the market can absorb this, then we actually modify it even further to accommodate other stuff.
So what do you say are the total number of products that you have manufactured or innovated?
I'd say we've done about 14 products. Yes, some continuous failure.
How so?
Because you don't get the results that you intended to. So we've got still some projects that are running behind the scenes. Yes, but we like I was saying, we keep on buying equipment. So during our spare time, we play around. We check, okay, what can we do here? Yes. And
so you're always experimenting.
You're always experimenting.
Are you Botswana's very own Thomas Edison?
I don't know how many Thomas Edisons are there, but one thing that I've noticed as being a member of the Innovation Hub is Botswana's got a lot of talented young people. Even last year when I was invited to the UB Virtual Expo, Ideas Expo. I met guys doing fourth year physics who could do very, very incredible things. But then I would know that then it's only going to be a bedroom project because they don't really know how to take this idea
to market.
To become a full product and ultimately commercialize it.
Yeah. And I like how you talked about 8 levels. 8 levels of what?
Technology readiness levels.
Yeah.
Yes.
So a guy gets excited and manufactures something in his bedroom, and he comes out with it. It's at level 1, I suppose.
It's at level 1.
How does he then get it to 8?
Yes, to get
Isn't that the challenge?
That's the challenge. That's the challenge. Then mostly you'd find that innovation, from what I've seen here, mostly it's apps. I think we when you talk about innovation here, and what I feel like most of the innovations that have been funded are normally applications, apps. But then if outside the apps, it's hard. But now apps, I know how to do apps because it's basically working on it. It's basically software. But now when you talk about innovation outside the software, it means now modeling something. Taking that idea, modeling it, putting it into the environment, seeing if it performs, take it back again, and it's timely. It's
time consuming.
It's time consuming, like the fly trap. We'd work on it. As we are experimenting now, winter time is approaching. The flies are not there, so,
so you have to wait for the next season.
You have to wait for the next season. So then the next season
requires a lot of patience.
Then you come back again. You have to go modify the mold again, and the mold comes at a hefty price. Hefty. So
of all the 14 products, which one do you say has been well received and has reached that level 8 or better?
It's the fly trap, of course, and because now we are registered with Macro, we are now selling Macro online. We are also
Macro is a distribution in South
Africa, and Take a Lot.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. How did you get on Take a Lot?
To get to Take a Lot and these guys, like I say, we had something that was working, catching a lot of flies. But when we get there, they said no, the package. Now we need the standards. Yes, now that's where that's where now you start to spend the money.
Okay. What is the basic concept of this fly trap? How does it work?
It's this fly trap. It's a top. It works with an old soda bottle, 2-liter bottle, because we are looking at taking care of the environment, recycling and reusing before you can throw it. So we've got lots of 2-liter bottles here. So we found that we can make this cap. Then inside the bottle you put in the bait that attracts the flies. Then the flies will go inside the cap and get trapped inside the bottle. So once the bottle is full, you unscrew it, throw the bottle, take another bottle, put the bait inside, screw it back, hang it in the sun. So now we notice then also.
And is that superior to all the other fly traps?
Yes, it is superior.
Why?
To it's because firstly, it's cheaper and affordable. Because other fly traps, you use them once, then you throw them away. The other ones, then you have to keep on buying the bag, the bag that traps the flies. So these ones, the 2-liter bottles are everywhere. The soda bottles are everywhere. So now you don't have to go and buy the soda bottles. Then it's actually reusing before you dispose.
How did you? I just want to know how your ideation process works. How did you come up with that idea? Were you sleeping at night? Was it just like that?
Actually, it started with the fruit fly, before the fly trap. Before the house fly.
Yeah.
Because as we are doing farming, because I was also doing open farming in Kudumatse with salmon, but then I could notice that our butternuts were attacked by fruit fly. So when we sprayed the fruit fly, we killed the bees. So now I was like, okay, when you spray the fruit fly, now you are chasing the killer. You are chasing away killing the pollinators. So now that's how we actually came up. It was my problem statement, but how to do it? It was the guy, one of the engineers in South Africa, said, "No, Ali, what do you think of this?" So we now used apple cider and pieces of fruit to trap the fruit fly, and it's chemical free. So then after getting the results on the fruit fly, we said, okay, now let's try the house fly. And one of our clients, which is Felin Fields, they own a camping site somewhere in Maung. They bought a lot of them late last year. He says now he's using the fly traps to trap mosquitoes. I don't know what bait. I don't know what bait he's using.
You should ask him.
Yes, now he's always in the bush.
Yeah,
but I'll keep on calling him because now
the same bait for flies won't work for mosquitoes.
Yes, but the same trap and the same bottle will work for mosquitoes. It's about what you put in that will attract.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what does it retail at, and how do you make sure that it's profitable?
Yes, actually, like I was saying, you will learn as you go. After doing this product, now when we had to now do the mass production, because when you now go to these retail giants, they'll tell you we need a minimum order of this. Can you provide that?
Along with the packaging.
Yes. So now what we had to do is we had to now focus now on the mass production, and then now to do the mass production now was also very, very close to a point where we even thought, should we just abandon the project? But then we had to now sell some of our other stuff. I sold my laptop. I sold some of my stuff because we needed quite more than 100,000 to get
The whole thing going.
the whole mold and all to do mass production. Now, once we did that, we reduced the cost of production by 8 times. You see, as sometimes something comes as an obstacle, but then now the
becomes a blessing.
it becomes a blessing. So now we could afford now to have a good looking package because now the cost of production absorbs that package, absorbs that thing. Now, the retail price is 50 pula. That's what we set.
So all you need to do is volume. To make serious money, just volume. Sell a lot.
You need to sell a lot.
And scale to other countries.
What's
your plan there? What's your growth plan? How do you scale?
Okay. What happened is because also we found that it was easier to sell in South Africa than in Botswana. So we approached BITC. So then we had to go through the whole brand Botswana thing. So now we are brand Botswana.
You have the brand mark, the endorsement.
The endorsement, yes, by Botswana, brand mark, yes. So now, then we approached.
By the way, we got ours last week as Mogobe Nuggets of Wisdom.
Oh, you got yours last week. Congratulations!
So yeah.
So now, Square Mart actually said no, we should bring the products, but now winter was now starting. So now we will go back to. But then also we had to do some during that time, winter time. Then there's so now will be our first.
Was that 50 pool? I think everybody will want to buy it.
Yes,
it's arguably more effective than peaceful sleep, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Are you sure? Or?
Yeah, but okay, peaceful sleep will work on your body, but then that will trap mosquitoes around your house. Yes.
And they'll go straight to that thing. They don't come to you.
They won't. Yes, because you are attracting.
In other words, you don't need to spray peaceful sleep.
You don't need to spray. Yes, because the mosquitoes you don't have the mosquitoes.
That's how effective it is.
Yes, even around if you want to catch housefly, you just make the bait. You just use the bait, which is bicarbonate of soda and yeast. It will attract and warm water. It attracts the flies. You can put them around your yard, so your dogs and your children won't be bothered by.
So what is proprietary then? What is the new thing that you have that nobody can reproduce? Is it just the way the mechanism is put together?
Yeah, the mechanism and the cost of production. Yeah, if you want to go that route, you have to have a couple of hundreds of thousands because that's. But anyway, at the end of the day, we did a patent on the fly trap.
Oh, you did? I asked you that earlier.
Yes, we only on the fly trap.
Oh, okay.
Because you don't modify it all the time. But on these other things, you time to time is like a cell phone. You have one cell phone now. Yeah. Then in 6 months there's another one.
You keep registering. More patents.
But at the end of the day, you can't avoid competition.
Yeah.
It's now how much of R&D can you put in so that your product is always ahead of others.
Okay, 14 products. One that is your favorite and doing well is the fly trap.
The fly trap and the load master, the Giza controller.
Yeah.
The Giza controller is doing well in South Africa because they have load shedding.
Yeah.
So they don't have most of the people don't have a choice.
Okay.
So people are now buying it a lot in South Africa.
I hope there's no danger that we're going to lose you to South Africa.
No, there's no danger. I think firstly, as I love my country. I love my country. Well, they've been. There's a lot of people calling me in DRC, Algeria, but I feel like, well, as much as you look on the outside, but who's going to develop our country? So I'm not going to delay, but I'll be a bit patient.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what are your other products apart from these two that are doing well?
Okay, is this one then is the automated sensor-based irrigation system, because the irrigation systems that are already there now are time-based. So even if it's raining at 5 o'clock, you still irrigate. So now,
so you've introduced a sensor.
A sensor. Now we've got sensors on the ground. Yes.
Which sense what?
Which sense moisture in the ground. So also you must understand, plants don't like water; they need moisture because they breathe through the the roots. So the roots need
Too
moisture.
much water can actually hurt them.
Too much water will hurt them, and also too much water will leach the nutrients below the root level. So now your plants need to be at an optimum.
So how did you come up with this irrigation system?
Well, because of the failures that I got there at the farm, because sometimes with the look of my eye, that in Kudumatse, you will have one big cabbage, one small cabbage, one big cabbage, one small cabbage. But then you'll be monitoring, but then you'll know that you know that with the eye, you are not able to monitor if the taproot has sufficient moisture. And you must understand the taproot is the one that's important for the plant to grow. The ones that go on the sides are only for the support. Yes. So
I understand.
Yes.
And then you decided, look, let's get an irrigation system that's moisture based.
Yes.
What are the ingredients? What are the key components of that? Without revealing all your secrets.
Yes. Well, it's a control box. It's a control box which has a moisture sensor and works with the probes that go into the ground. Yes.
And water is only released if and when
the moisture drops
from a certain
yes
level.
Then the valves will open. When the moisture is enough, the valves will close. So you don't even need your farm workers to be there.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that one you have to patent, isn't it? Also.
Yeah, you
haven't perfected it
but
yet.
there's other
And
similar
you shouldn't wait for perfection. You should patent it as and when you are. I think the lesson here is that patent as soon as there's something working, patent it.
Yeah, and we'll then yes, definitely we'll patent it. Though there's similar products in the market,
moisture based,
like Israel already has. That's why Israel does wonders. They do that. Basically, that's what you call precision farming. So we have also other control boxes that we are working on now to also try and see if we can monitor nutrition on the ground. Yeah. So those are some of the products. Oh, by the way, we had a lot of inquiries because now BOMRA now says a lot of pharmacies should monitor temperature of the vaccines and the room temperatures within the pharmacies. We had some orders actually, but
within the pharmacy itself.
Yeah.
You control the...
yes, because if it's too hot and you've got something that says store below 25 degrees, your Zambak there says 25, then it's there by the front shelf and hot air is blowing in. You're going to buy something that's...
So it has, in other words, it has a very wide use potential.
Yes, for the remote refrigeration monitor. So to monitor
that is a control box.
It's a product with a room temperature sensor and a refrigeration sensor. So you are able to know the temperature within the fridge and in the room. Okay. But then should you lose the desired temperature within the fridge, it starts to give you an alarm and sends messages on your phone on Telegram to warn you. Even at night when you are sleeping, it will let you know that your fridge is about to lose the temperature or you have lost the temperature.
Wow.
With a data log also that you cannot tamper with. So we can go back and to say, no, but you see, your fridge was not working here, but you didn't throw your vaccines away. So probably sometimes you get shots for flu vaccine, then you get flu because probably there was a power cut. They've expired, maybe, yeah.
They expired or they got the wrong temperature and they lost their potency.
And there was nothing to tell the pharmacy owner that do that. And it doesn't only now work only that you can work in mortuaries, you can work in anywhere you need to control temperatures, in laboratories and all that.
And what level of production is that particular one?
No, it's complete. The thing is, our first customer was the pharmacy here by the fields. I think when the fields opened, was it early this year or late last year? I forgot.
Late last year.
Yes, we had
early last year.
We had orders, but then the thing is we are not matching what BOMRA wanted. We only had one room temperature sensor, but BOMRA wants to have 3 sensors: the one in the front, in the center, and at the back.
That is okay for you because it means the demand is high.
The demand is there. So right now we are talking. We are modifying it now to put in many sensors so that now we can go back to that lines to be BOMRA compliant. So
when one goes to your factory now, how many items are actually under production? It has been on demand, but right now we've got. With the fly traps,
produced, because now the cost of production is very, very low. You've got thousands and thousands. They're just piled up there. We are just now waiting for the shops to say, if the shop says 10,000, we give them 10,000 immediately. So, yes. So then...
but what about the other items? Those ones are strictly on on an order basis.
Yes.
You order, then you manufacture.
Then you manufacture. But now, we wanted to do mass production for the pharmacy ones. Because but now the problem is now we are still now working on we are going back to coding again, putting more sensors so that it controls many sensors and all that. But once we are done, and then we'll also start to mass produce. The Loadmaster XP is costly to produce. It's costly to produce, and most of these things are self-funded. So we are now looking at we want to be demand driven. But should we get?
Isn't this the right time for you to be looking for funders such as angel network investors, or even if you don't like us as angels, you go for banks? Isn't this the time you should be looking for such people?
No, definitely, because I think opportunities are timely. Yes, we can look into.
So have you worked your numbers? Because with the angels, they'll want you to know your numbers well, in terms of cost of production, in terms of what money you need for what, and then be clear as to the valuation of your company, and be clear as to how much of your company you want to sell. Have you thought about those things?
Yes, it's something that I've thought about, and yes, with the figures, we know the figures very well. From my head, actually, yes, I know the figures. So, with the fly traps, we already know the cost of production. We know how much we are going to be selling at, what profit are we looking at, and looking at also we want to go. We need strategic distribution points, because even right now, like there's one guy who was asking from Burundi to say, like, I want the fly traps, but you cannot send one fly trap to.
It's not cost effective.
It's not cost effective. But then, if we could have where we can actually have this whole distribution, because it's also the fly trap is disruptive in the sense that it disrupts the chemical industry, where now you have to spray flies around your yard with chemicals, and
peaceful sleep is useless.
You see. So then also you have to constantly spray these insect killers in your house, and some people it causes problems to those who are like my brother. My brother even
asthmatic.
He reacts to different types of smells, even allergic. So he doesn't want all those things. So now he needs things that can actually, trap flies and all that. So, and also into the farming industry, because now you can use this in your orchards to trap the fruit fly. If you noticed, last year we didn't have a lot of watermelons and butternuts because of the fruit fly. There's a chemical-free solution, which now we gave some to the Department of Crop Protection in Mahalape. So that government processes take
just
long.
Too tedious. And they're going to ask you to tender and things like that.
Yes.
When you are the manufacturer, the only manufacturer, they ask you to tender.
And we are going for plowing season. We are going for plowing season now. So I thought the fly trap could work very, very handy.
I've always thought it's silly that the person who manufactures a unique product that is needed is asked to tender. Who is he competing with when he's the unique owner? So it makes no sense.
Yes. So then it also now becomes defeating to the efforts that are gained by government to say, let's push innovation.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there's a loophole that it seems maybe people at the Ministry of Entrepreneurship and even the recent agenda people need to pick on.
Yeah, definitely.
That it's conflicting. The way they are applying the laws insofar as tendering, insofar as procurement, versus what they are saying. They cannot apply the procurement laws rigidly.
Yes.
They have to cut down on those regulations if they are going to promote innovation.
Then they are going to promote innovation.
To me, it's a simple thing to see, but they don't see it.
Then, like also with the ultraviolet light disinfecting unit, one of the procurement people. One of the other procurement department was saying, no, but there's no PPADB for this. When you go to PPADB, they don't know
You are the only manufacturer.
You are the only manufacturer.
So who are you competing? I mean,
there's no code.
About competing.
But then PPADB doesn't have the code.
Yeah, for something like that.
Then I tell them, but how? Okay, get it a code. Then
they need it.
They need it, but then there's no code.
And they say they need it.
They say they need it, but now the problem.
And they say they want to encourage innovation.
Then they want to encourage innovation. So I mean, it's
self-contradictory. It makes no sense.
Yes.
Now, you call it precision farming, and you may give an example of Israel. What will it take for us to get to those levels?
What would actually get us to reach those levels is firstly to understand that certain opportunities. I mean, certain opportunities are timely. Firstly, and the other thing is
timely means time bound.
Time bound. They're time bound. Then the other thing is also to understand that we need collaborations within. Because right now, for me also to do certain researches, I have to ask somebody's farm to say, okay, fine, I see you are doing tomatoes. Can you take this thing and put it into your... Because right now I've got someone who's willing to do a research with the same fly to capture tuta, absolutely for the one that's causing a problem. So now we need collaborations with the universities, and proper coordination between. I think also what I've noticed is our departments are not properly coordinated. They work together, but when you challenge that thing, you'll find that they're not together. So with innovation, as much I think because in the innovation space, nobody comes with manufacturing innovation. So things are there, and we just talk about them. But go to the office and knock. You'll find that there's no coordination. So.
All right. Yeah. One question I want to ask you is that the young ones sometimes have ideas such as yours, but they somehow don't try to implement, or they don't implement because of, I don't want to say low self-esteem, but often people will say, I'm not a scientist, I'm not qualified. But here you are, you're a software engineer, but you are making massive inventions. Yeah. So what word of encouragement? What word of encouragement would you communicate to the people out there?
Well, before I give the word of encouragement, it all started that most of the people would told me, Ali, you are going to fail. Ali, you are going to fail. You cannot do that. This thing has to come from China. Even right now, people believe when I show them, but when I talk, some people think I'm crazy. But the only thing that I can say is, especially to the young ones, is don't believe you've failed before you have tried. Don't believe you've failed, and believe in yourself. And that idea, work on it. It's your idea. You don't need the next person to approve it. Yes. That's and also as young people, find like-minded people so that you can work together. I've tried to work with a lot of people. They along the journey they had to leave.
Yeah.
Because they wanted money the next week. But when I tell people that my journey, I started.
Long term.
It's long. So if people they see my products now, and when I tell them no, go back to you are still 6 years backwards. Then people will say, it takes 6 years. Then they abandon.
Not interested. Yeah, they want instant gratification.
Instant gratification, and also to reach precision farming is schools, especially when I grew up, agriculture. When we were late comer, we are punished through doing an agricultural activity. So
it used to be tied to punishment.
Yeah. So now, if we need to turn things around to say no, this is where the biggest innovations can come out of, and this is where innovation can make money within the farming, because farming has a lot of problems, which needs a lot of solutions. But now, when you know that at school you don't need to associate yourself with farming, it's a totally different.
So what would you say are 5 to 10? No, I should say 10 to 30 year plans. If you look at the future, what do you see? Even your brand as Ngwako, what do you see there? And even the brand of the company, Alidik and New Start Technologies. What does the future hold?
The future is very, very bright. It's extremely, extremely bright because normally people look at things in a monetary form. But even if I had $1 million, I wouldn't have made the control box because you needed the know-how. So it's not only money that you should look into, but you should look at where you are now. And I think I'm getting very, very much closer to money, and I'm actually making money now. So with now,
especially given the success of the flight trap,
the success of the flight trap is now only to expand it and get it well known. And yes, but the future is very, very bright. And also with the current president, I used to get worried a lot in our country to say, we don't start anything, but you get something from you get a pen from somewhere, then you put markup on it. But when we're going to have something in the beginning, when he started talking about the mindset change,
the reset agenda,
he opened my eyes. Then when he talked about the electric car, I was dead. I was totally finished. Totally finished. I was like, wow.
Because that seems to be so innovative.
Then very, very innovative. And I'm telling you, these are some of the things that we are busy working on right now.
Behind the scenes.
I'm already drawing how it's going to look like. I'm not saying I'm going to make it.
But you are dreaming because the leadership is dreaming.
The leadership
it comes from the top.
That's visionary leadership.
Yes.
It's like me thinking of how can I get rid of the flies. Is that at that stage. But people should actually know that we might actually have the first car in the next 11 years. Go to Tesla, go to Toyota. The cars we are driving now, go to Range Rover, the new Range Rover. Probably the concept car was 25 years ago. The concept car.
Yeah.
So we need to know that manufacturing and innovation is a process. Now going into the future, I think now with Africa is now also now coming together and having attended the local manufacturing summit, and now where things are going at our biggest buyers being the mines are now trying to use now say no, we are local manufacturing, we are going to support it as with our expenditure because they've got the biggest purchasing power. It's opening up. It's opening up, so it means now we can now be able to tap into the AFCFTA, Africa Free Trade.
Yes. In fact, I forgot to ask you about that, whether you are aware of the protocols, whether you are taking advantage now that Botswana has ratified AFTA.
It's the future is getting brighter because now I'm saying now especially with the Loadmaster XP, the Giza controller. Right now the mines now have to now compensate to say how you compensating the harm you are doing to the environment. So by going green, so that's already a market there for my product.
Yes.
So if they purchase it with their buying power, then we can have now more machinery, more equipment, more skilled people to build all these things together, now to benefit into the whole of Africa, eventually even the globe.
So in those 20-30 years looking forward, are you seeing large manufacturing plants or a number of them, or do you want to keep it small and manageable? What is the future? What do you see physically in terms of imagining what's going to come out of this?
Well, what's going to come out of this is enormous because, firstly, our government found key to educate people. So I think we've got a lot of overly educated people in Botswana. So I see it. I normally say the most important resource is the human resource. So I see a lot of collaborations, and who are even going to propel it much more brains than me now, who are going to be propelling this even beyond. I would just be on the managerial side, but I need younger brains, people who are now willing to move forward. And like I'm saying, looking where Africa is going with the younger generation that's coming, who are more quicker to adopt technology. The other reason why things have been slow is I think the older generation they happen to be afraid or not willing to.
They don't even want to get on social media. It's crazy.
Exactly.
50, it's crazy. They don't
Yes.
want to.
So then you find someone who's older, but is the one who has to take the decisions to buy the fly trap, and they don't know much about the fly trap. So, but if it was someone who was 30 years, immediately they would see that. So I think with the uptake in like, I think there's going to be, the government says now it wants to get more youth involved, then we'll propel this.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, you've answered my question.
Yeah.
Now you have a question for me.
Yes, I do have a question for you, as having spent time here at your place here. And looking at the age gap between me and you, and also looking into the future, as someone who's more experienced than I am, not taking only into me, but to say if things could go in the right direction, so that similar, like-minded people and people who are in the same industry, what do you see? Where do you maybe see Africa going into?
So I see the continent opening up. I, for myself, having a presence in South Africa. I have a presence in Zambia. So things are opening up. So you talk about the age gap, and I think there's a question of young and young at heart.
Yes.
So me, I categorize myself as young at heart because the spirit is there. Somebody even jokingly said we are the senior youth.
Yes.
Because the vitality is there, and I'm only in my 50s, but I feel that, look, sometimes I do things physically that I couldn't do when I was in my 20s.
Yes.
Like push-ups and things like that. So my belief is that the future is super, super bright, and we need innovators like you, and we need to encourage people like you. I like your hunger, I like your optimism, I like your energy level. I share that in terms of the future being bright. And with that being said, I have a very positive outlook in terms of for this country and for this continent in particular.
Yes.
I hope I've answered the question.
Yes, no, you've well answered the question. Just the last question.
Yeah.
We are saying, I hope other countries don't take you away from here.
Yes. Although it's still, as long as you have your roots here, I'm not worried.
Yes, because what I can just say is, it's a question to say. I've noticed everywhere in the world where you go, they'll tell you Botswana is easy to do business in Botswana. BITC, when you take the pamphlet, it's easier to do stuff in Botswana. But from us who are inside, it's not really. You don't have. It's not easy. Like as I was, if I coming from outside. Sometimes I wish I could go buy a citizenship from another country, so that I can enjoy coming back here.
Well, there's a saying that a prophet is without honor in his own home, and I've seen some of that. The way I'm received in South Africa, the way I'm received in Zambia and elsewhere, it's much more different from here. So I suppose that one is a bit unavoidable. I think to succeed at home, one of the traits that I emphasize for my mentees is grit. Grit means persistence and perseverance.
Yes.
So you need that as a trait. In Botswana, you need 10x of that.
Yes.
So I think that's just our reality. Right. Say, final words before we part. Just parting words for the viewer. Look at that camera before we say bye-bye.
Okay. Well, I can just say is, I think we are living at I'm more than happy to be living at this era where now, change is much rapid than back in the days. We've got technology now where one day is like 1,000 years back in the days. So let's take this country forward. And the only thing that can take the country forward is not the knowledge that you know, but is the knowledge that you can develop, that you don't know, which is now can only be achieved through innovation, through collaborations, and through trust and faith. So this is not a one-man show to have a greater universe tomorrow, but it's a collective of thoughts. And my company and my organization it's a group of people having come together with a common goal but diverse skills.
Okay, fantastic. Give them all your contacts on social media and everywhere else.
Okay. My contact on Facebook is Ali Ngwako, ALI, and Ngwako is NWAKO. My email is ali@newstarttechnologies.co.bw. And very, very soon, I'll share. We are still doing a few transformations on the website and the social media, which those we will share, I think, from next week, Wednesday. Everything should be done. And my number is 72730196. And the other one is 77858317.
This is fantastic. I really enjoyed this conversation.
Yes.
Thank you so much for
Thank you very much
for coming.
Yes.
Let me just remind you, dear viewer and listener, please strike that subscribe button. And as always, until next time, this is your host, Mompoloki Lerumo Mogobe, signing off. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.